Hey everybody, Michelle here, and we're going to show you how to take out the alternator and put it back in. I've got a 2008 Chevy Impala, and while I was driving it on a Sunday morning, it started making a horrible noise. And eventually the service battery charging system message came up on the screen. I knew it was the alternator at that point, and by the time I had driven 10 miles and made it home, the low battery light was on. Of course, the alternator's not working. You're going to run on battery power. I did hook up a battery charger and charge the battery back up before I started the car back up. Be sure and disconnect the battery if you do any engine work. And also know that we are not paid mechanics. This is just my experience in dealing with my car. But you do see all the tools that you need in the video and everything else. And okay, so I did want to tell you that at first we thought we were going to replace the whole alternator. But he called a friend, and the friend came over and looked at it, and he said, it's just the clutch that is broken. And that's the part that the belt actually wraps around. So it became an $82 fix as opposed to spending like $185 or more on a whole alternator, okay? Because he knew a place that, an auto electric shop that would take the clutch off and put a new clutch on. So we went ahead and pulled the alternator out, and we did that on Sunday and had to wait till Monday for the place to be open. And they did that, and it worked out, and they tested the alternator and said it wasn't broken, okay? So if in the the clutch, it should only spin one way, but it was spinning both ways, and that's why we made the choice that that's probably the case, all right? But still, it's the same thing, getting the alternator out and putting it back in. My alternator was a Bosch brand. When I called around to see about getting a new alternator, they said there was a couple of different brands, and they may be slightly different specifications, okay? But other than that, everything worked out great, and it was a lot cheaper than taking it someplace and having them do it. All right, so here you go. So we've disconnected the battery, and we gotta take this cover off right here. This is the alternator over here. Maybe it just clips on. Yep. It's kind of had like some kind of clips that hold that on there. That's where the oil goes. We decided to take the coolant overflow container out. It has two nuts right here they're 10 millimeters. So we're going to take that out of the way because we got to get this out. And this nut over here was a 13 millimeter. We took that off. There's also like the electrical plug back there that we'll have to get off. Easy as that to get that out of the way. Okay, so here's what we know so far. That the alternator is most likely pretty good. It's still in good shape, but the clutch right here has broken. And I guess maybe the lifespan of those is not terribly long, and I've got over probably 130,000 miles on this car or whatever, but the clutch spins both directions, and apparently it should, spin one way and then stop and go the other way. So anyways, probably don't need to replace the whole alternator, except standard auto shops that you buy parts from, they don't even sell this. So somebody said that we could probably get one from this other place over in Louisville. And then on top of it, okay, so here was the metal cover that was over this, and it took damaging it, actually it was like that, to get it off. And then inside it has like, it's a specialty tool that'll take to go in there and take this off, and it's got ridges in it. But this person says that this place that he had one done, they he just took the whole alternator in and had it replaced. This, okay, and because it'll take a specialty tool. Otherwise, we'll have to replace the whole thing, which, you know, anyways, we'll see. But the belt came up and went over that, and to get that off, we have the pulley down there that this part right here unloosened that bolt right there, which was a 15mm bolt, and then that is a 3/4 or 3/8 socket stuck into that square hole right there, and then pulled back on that this way. Had to put it needed a pry on it in order to get it up. So there's a socket on the end of it right there, and then we had the handle on the socket. Pulled it back like this, and then that released the belt off of this clutch. Anyway, so we're trying not to mess up that, because you got to get the belt on the right way, of course. And so got that off. Took this bolt out right here, which was a 15mm, and it was a long one in there. Here it is right here. And but there's another one back here that is a 15mm, and they are trying to find a short enough boxed in wrench, 15mm, that they can use down in there, because I'm like, a socket is too thick, even with a short socket.
Don't let that baby fall down.
Clear.
One, did you get the one out the bottom? It's hanging out up here.
Yeah, I couldn't get it out all the way. That's it.
Now, you're going to have the wire hanging up there in a little bit.
It's still on there.
I got it. Okay. Now, let me shine the light on it, see if you can see how to get it loose.
Let me turn it up to where we can
see it?
Yeah. That's tight. That's as much room as I can get on it.
Okay, what's that right back there?
What, that? A fuse?
This right here.
Spin this around a little bit here.
Okay. Let me get a hold of it here. No, I thought that was... Here we go.
Oh,
they got some kind of silly little thing now. I broke mine.
I see what you're saying. That like slides all the way out. Okay, I can grab it now. Hey, can I push it? Push it through from this side?
I don't know, can you?
Not with this big of a screwdriver. I bet I got the smaller ones right there on the truck.
Oh.
That's what I did on mine.
I couldn't get over here fast enough. That needs to be pushed like that.
Did you get it?
Yeah, you have to push down on this. See that little clip?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the little blue piece keeps you from pushing down on it. It's just a safety.
It's a lock.
All right. Now, you got that one bolt there. I'd go ahead and pull it all the way out.
Okay.
Okay. You should be free now once you get it. No wonder you have to pay so much at the garage to get shit worked on.
The alternator's out, and this is the bolt that was closest to the front of the car, and it's a 15mm. And then there's another one that was in this underneath that you accessed from the back that took a short handled 15mm boxed in. Did you use the boxed in side? Yeah. To get that out. And then connected through here was another 15 millimeter long bolt, and it had one of the power steering line or fuel line attached to it. So that one had a small 10 millimeter nut on it to take that off to release that fuel line or whatever line it was, and then the 15 millimeter bolt was under that. Well, it was the top of the bolt, and then undid that to get it out. So once those were out, and then this little one, this was the 11 millimeter one right here, you could get that off, and then this had to be unplugged. There was a safety pin in there, and then you push the little thing down, and then it unplugged for the electrical. This is a Bosch 125 is the number on it right there. Okay, so we're looking down in the car, and so that clutch was, of course, right here where the pulley or the belt comes up off the pulley. So it was right here, and so that was the one 15 millimeter on the front, and then you can see over here and right here where those other two 15 millimeter ends. So that one was in here, and then this one is the one, see, it had the extra on it, so that was in there. And this hose right here, that was on there, and that was a 10 millimeter on that. Okay, and it was easier to go ahead and pull the top off of the cap off of the spark plug right here and get that wire out of the way. So okay, we're gonna install we got a new clutch on there, and that bolt that goes in the back, because there's not enough room to pull it all the way out, have to stick it in there before we stick the whole thing back into there. And that back bolt is a little bit longer than the one that goes in the front place. Okay, so we got the 3 bolts put in. They are 15 millimeter ones. This one that he's is right. That's the easiest accessed one here on the front, and then the other one is accessed down at the bottom up around this way. And we had to use this stubby little wrench to get to it because it's so tight back there. We had to use that to get it off. We'll have to use that to get it back on. And then the other one, which is just on this side, we had to use I don't think we used a socket on that one either, but it would take the deep well if you did, because it has that extra piece on it, and I think it's just too tight back there, so we used the wrench and took the top of the last spark plug cap off right there. Okay, so we'll put this little holder onto that end of that bolt, and then there's the nut, which I don't think I can get on there this direction. I'm gonna have to switch hands so I can bend around back there and watch right off the drop it. Okay, now I got my fingers around. Okay, so that'll clamp the wire back down. Okay, got that nut back on tight. We're going to plug this back in like that. Of course, the blue safety plug got broken, so it's not going back in. And that's on there. It's not coming off. I got to find my, here's my spark plug cap. So we got that on there. And we got to put this back on here. Alright, that's a 13 millimeter. Tighten the electric line down. And then all we got left is to get the belt back onto the clutch, and then we'll put the overflow radiator coolant tank back in there, and it'll be good to go. So we got a, was that 3/8 inch socket tool with no socket on it in the metal hole on the pulley down there, and then he put a piece of pipe on it so he can pry it up. He's pulling the belt up there too to get it around the clutch. Do you need me to pull on it too? And then we'll hook the battery back up, because we of course had that disconnected the whole time, and it'll be ready to go.